Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Power Rankings! Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Power Rankings. I'm your Commissioner Nick, and it is week 10 on the season. We are rolling right along this year, and we are on our way to a collision course in the playoffs. What a weird week we just had. All the higher seeds in the league just lost. Lots of upsets this week. The playoff, distribution of teams really shrunk. The top ends of the teams really fell down, and the bottom half of the teams really picked it up a notch, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited because, ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to get back in the hunt. I think I'm back in the hunt at this point, 3-6. Don't count me out yet. You know why? Because I'm a fantasy football stud, and I'm back. I'm coming for the playoffs. I got Brad this week, easy win, and we're just going to take it 1 week at a time. So without further ado, we got a great show on tap this week. I hope you love the content. Leave a comment down below, and let's get right into those rankings. Number 12. Digging my own grave. My team showed some life and picked up a much-needed win over my dad to improve to 3-6 on the season. It was a full team effort as 4 guys had 20 points, including Josh Jacobs, grab a brush and put a little makeup, had 2 touchdowns, and Jake Ferguson State Farm went 7 for 91 and a touchdown at tight end. We've got a long way to go, but I might be back on the In the Hunt graphic. Number 11. Team Never Lucky. Deck it up, deck it in. Let me begin. I came to win. Step out of bounds. That's a sin. Dan's team had a statement tie against Luke this week. These teams tied at an even 109 points, but Dan won the bench points tiebreaker to improve to 3-6 on the season. Dan should be ecstatic with this tie. Luke's probably a little disappointed. Dan, though, good tie. As we know, both teams can't win a tie, but Dan, he won this tie, so things are looking up. Number 10. Beans, time of the month. Beans won his second game in a row, defeating the process in a low-scoring affair. So low that he drops 2 spots in the rankings. Swole Komet had a strong performance, scoring 2 touchdowns for 23 points. And Jonathan Taylor had Beans dancing with his touchdown and near 18-point performance. Now 4-5 on the season, Beans is still alive in the playoff race. Number 9. The process. Ryan, good lord. Things are getting ugly for this team. 3 straight losses, only averaging 83 points per game in that stretch, and could only muster a league low 69 points this week. Not nice. Isaiah Pacheco stunk, scoring just 6 points, and Christian Watson and Zay Flowers had only 1 catch apiece. On the bright side, Ryan's Lions will be off the bye next week, and Jefferson could be back soon. But this is a team I wish I could play right now. Get it together, Ryan. Number 8. Too many cheeseburgers. Wah wah wee wah. Hunter's team picked up a surprising win in the game of the week over Riley in what I called a must-win game for him. Hunter led the league in scoring this week thanks to finally getting some production from his RBs as Aaron Jones had his best game in 2 months. But the real story here was CJ wowed, throwing 5 touchdowns and putting up nearly 50 points. Now 4-5 on the season. Don't count out Hunter just yet. Number 7. It was fun while it lasted. Brad's team won again this week with a convincing win over Jerry, and that's now 3 wins out of the last 4. Huh? Brad? Won? 3 out of 4? Huh? What? Tank, give me a Dell, yeah. Capitalized off CJ Stroud's monster game, scoring 2 touchdowns and 29 points. And Austin 316 Eckler finished off Jerry with the stunner on Monday Night Football. Another team that's 4-5 on the season. Is Brad having fun again? Number 6. Got that dog in him. Our reigning, defending, co-champion Luke lost the tie versus Dan this week and drops 1 spot in the rankings. We talked a little bit about the tie earlier when discussing Dan, But just want to stress again, this was a bad tie for Luke. We also know the Bills have had some issues right now, and Luke is feeling it on his fantasy team as James Overcooked had just 7 points, and the Bills defense had a goose egg against the Bengals. Losses in 4 out of the last 5. Luke, what happened? Number 5. Wild Card Harambe. Oliver's team put up a dud in a pretty big game against Brophy last week and dropped 1 spot in the rankings. Mayo boy Will Levis looked like a rookie on Thursday Night Football, and Devin Dingleberry could only produce 4 points. But how is Oliver feeling about Bijan Robinson? He's RB13 on the year, but had just 5 points this week and is clearly in Arthur Smith's doghouse. Is he the new Kyle Pitts? Might be time to ship him off before the deadline. Number 4. Poppy's prized possession, OCC. Brophy's team emerged victorious over Harambe this week and improved to 5-4 on the season. Rashad gave Brophy no worries because every little thing was all white this week as he scored 27 points. And how about Dalton Schultz? 10 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown for 27 points of his own. Now 5-4 on the season, very intrigued to see what's next for Poppy. Number 3. Quantum Cheeseburger.
I think I better just keep walking. Running! Better start running! 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 Sprinting! Yes! I just gotta keep sprinting!
Haha, Jerry's team lost their 2nd in a row to a bad Brad team, but luckily remains 3rd in the rankings. Things got off to a bad start on Thursday Night Football as it was slim pickings for the Steelers receiver who had just 2 catches for -1 yard. And it didn't get any better as DeAndre Swift had just 9 points. I warned Jerry not to go on a losing streak last week, and look where we are. The Beatles have released a new song more recently than this team has won a fantasy matchup. Wild. Number 2. When Legends Rise. Frank stays 2nd in the rankings despite falling to the commissioner and dropping a 6-3 on the season. Frank had 6 guys put up single-digit games, including Tony Pollard, who has yet to reach the end zone since week 1. And Chris Godlew's had just 2 catches for 16 yards. What a terrible combination of numbers. Instead of worrying so much about Jerry, you shouldn't have slept on your son, the fantasy football stud, and maybe you'd be number 1 in the rankings. And number 1, River Riley. Riley lost in the game of the week against Hunter, but stays in the top spot in the rankings after once again outscoring the league median. Kenneth Walker, or should I say Kenneth Crawler, had just 2 points, and tight end Dallas Goedert got hurt. He's injured. Now 5-4 on the season, Riley drops back into a crowded middle range of teams fighting for the playoffs. Let's see if he can bounce back. Now let's take a quick look at our playoff picture here. Nothing really changed here. Jerry's still the 1 seed. Brophy would be taking on Luke there. And the next matchup is the Process versus River Riley. Both those guys are 5-4. A lot of 5-4 teams on this graphic. And at the bottom, One Legends Rise, still a 2 seed, would be taking on Wildcard Harambe. As you can see at the bottom, Hunter has moved up to the first team out. Brad is right there behind him. And then Beans Time of the Month is hanging on in the hunt there. Me and Dan still not in the hunt graphic. Maybe next week. And now let's move on to my commissioner picks here for week 10. Here are the matchups. Last week, I went 4-2 for the first time in quite a while. So on the season, I'm now 29-25. First matchup here, it's Dan taking on my dad's team. And Dan he's riding high right now. He had a huge tie last week. And you got to look out for Dan at this point. He might be making a push to the playoffs. But in the end, I'm going to take my dad's team to get the win, even though he's got a few guys on the bye. Next matchup, Quantum Cheeseburger taking on the Process. Ryan's team is a big favorite in this one as Jerry has a lot of guys on the bye. But it's a good thing he held on to Patrick Mahomes and Tua all year for them to share the same bye week. Looks like he's going to need a quarterback this week. I'm rolling with the Process here. That's just bad general manager work by Jerry, as we all know. And let's move through these 3 quickly here. Too Many Cheeseburgers taking on Wildcard Harambe. I'm taking Harambe here to upset Hunter, despite some of the guys on a bye that Oliver has. River Riley taking on Beans Time of the Month. I think Riley will bounce back here. He's consistently putting up more points in the league than anyone else. I'm taking River Riley. Lastly, at the bottom, it's Poppy's prized possession. Taking on Got That Dog in him, and this is a big game for playoff implications. Both teams are 5-4. Who's going to get the edge here? I'm going to take Luke. It's a bounce back game. He's got his Niners back. I think he bounces back here. And Brophy's kind of been up and down. I'll take Luke in this one. And in the game of the week, we've got an old rivalry, a battle everyone is going to want to keep an eye on, a battle of brothers, and arguably two of the hottest teams in the league right now. It's Brad's It Was Fun While It Lasted, taking on my team, digging my own grave in what I'm declaring a loser leaves town game. You could put the done chain on whoever loses this matchup. Historically, we're even, 7-7 all time, but who can forget the 2015 championship game where I beat Brad to win my first championship? Good times. And hey, everyone knows the two most exciting words in sports are Game 15. I know Brad's team has found some recent success lately, but I'm going to take my team to pick up the win and get back in the hunt. And that's all I've got for you guys this week. Now, I'm going to turn it over to a very special guest making his first appearance on the rankings, I think, ever? At least in a couple of years. It's general manager of one of the hottest fantasy football teams in our league right now. Everyone, please welcome Brad.
What's up, guys? It's the GM of It Was Fun While It Lasted, Brad. As you can see, I am repping the current undefeated and soon-to-be 9-time NCAA men's basketball champion, Kentucky Wildcats. Got some things to go over today. First off, Ryan, Jerry, how could you let my mediocre, injury-riddled team just beat you both down these past 2 weeks? I have fans that are thinking and believing that I can make the playoffs, and I have to tell them and I have to make them believe that it is not a possibility. But you both just couldn't do what you were supposed to do and put this team down. And looking ahead to the matchup this week, I have my brother. I am facing him in 2 leagues this week. I would be lying if I said I am not confident in my team in bad company this week. I've looked at Nick's roster. I do not have a quarterback. And I think this team gets back to where it belongs and in the toilet bowl of bad company. And last but not least, before I let you guys go, I have a special message from the assistant general manager of It Was Fun While It Lasted, my son, Nash.